Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Reckless Paradise Podcast. I am your host, Dystro, and tonight's episode is another Debate Hour episode. Tonight's episode is a WWE pay per view. This one's going to be over Extreme Rules 2013 and 2014. But if you do not know what Debate Hour is we take two topics and we put them head to head and see which one we like the most out of the two categories. So, with that being said, this is going to be kind of interesting because 2013, 2014 was I guess, some groundbreaking years in some of the wrestling at that time. TNA and stuff. They were kind of like, I guess, like, if you want to call it, like, they were just getting, I guess, a little bit better, I guess, if you want to call it that. But this is all about WWE Extreme Rules. So let me just break down, I guess, the cards for both of them here. So we're starting with the 2013 card first. Miz and Cody Rhodes on the pre-show, which is sad to see. Opening match was Chris Jericho defeating Fandango in 8.5 minutes. Dean Ambrose defeats Kofi Kingston for the United States Championship in 7 minutes. Sheamus defeats Mark Henry in a strap match, which went 8 minutes. Alberto Del Rio defeated Jack Swagger in an I Quit match to determine the number one contender to the World Heavyweight Championship in 11 minutes. The Shield defeated Team Hell No, which was Daniel Bryan and Kane, for the Tag Team Championships in a Tornado Tag, which went under 7.5 minutes, which is pretty sad. The three big, I guess, marquee matches, if you want to call it that, was Randy Orton versus Big Show in an Extreme Rules match, which went 13 minutes. John Cena versus Ryback, which ended in a no contest, is in a last man standing match for the WWE Championship. And then the main event was Brock Lesnar versus Triple H in a steel cage. I remember this, I guess, this show kind of vaguely. It was just kind of like, I guess, like here and there for it. But I think I remember majority of it being like, this is the Shield, and like Dean Ambrose goes on a very groundbreaking United States Championship run in his own right. And same with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins as tag team champions too. And I think they lose the tag titles to Rhodes and Cody Rhodes and Goldust. Like, I think about around that same year, which is kind of interesting, to be honest with you. But this whole Cena and Ryback storyline was like to lead into Payback the next month, which was like 3 stages of hell and all that stuff. And then Triple H and Lesnar was the rematch from WrestleMania that year in New York, New Jersey. I mean, it's not a bad show if you want to look at it like that. But let's just see here. The 2013 events schedule replaced Over the Limit as the year's May pay-per-view. 2013 Extreme Rules received 231,000 buys, down from last year or that year before, which was 263,000, which it's not bad, So now on to Extreme Rules 2014. This was from East Rutherford, New Jersey, and this was in May 4th, May the 4th, we with you. The buy rate was 108,000, excluding the WWE Network views. So this event received 108,000 pay-per-view buys, down from the previous year 231,000, which was a huge dip, which is kind of sad. So the pre-show was El Torito defeated Hornswoggle in a Wii LC match, which was actually kind of entertaining. Cesaro versus RVD versus Jack Swagger in a triple threat elimination match. Rusev versus R-Truth and Xavier Woods in a handicap match, which shouldn't really need to be there. Bad News Bear defeats Big E for the Intercontinental Championship. So these two, I guess three matches, I should say, were my matches of the night. Actually, I should say. Um, Shield versus Evolution in a six-man tag, which was actually kind of entertaining. Um, Bray Wyatt versus John Cena in a steel cage match. And then the main event, which was Daniel Bryan and Kane in the World Heavyweight Championship match for Extreme Rules. But then they had a cool down, which was Paige versus Tamina Snuka for the Divas Championship, which went almost 6.5 minutes, which is actually kind of not bad, really. It's not bad. Um, but it's like they put them in like really like dead spot, but it's like a good kind of like dead spot, I should say. Um, but so some of the feuds that are coming out of like this pay per view in particular was Shield versus Evolution, Wyatt and Cena, and then Bryan and Kane. But I think Bryan and Kane was kind of like put on the back burner a little bit. But the big two main feuds coming out of Extreme Rules going into Payback that next month was Shield and Evolution and Wyatt and Cena. Because if you go back to WrestleMania 30 in 2014, you had Wyatt and Cena one on one. Cena won that one. Then you have Bray win the steel cage match, and then the blow off was Last Man Standing, which was Wyatt and Cena again. Which that match was actually better than the other two, I think, in my opinion. But then going into Payback for Shield versus Evolution, it was a standard six-man tag at Extreme Rules, but then going into Payback, which was the main event of that pay-per-view, which was insane. It was no holds barred elimination, which was actually kind of interesting, to say the least, too. Because usually never in a million years a six-man tag would main event a pay-per-view. Usually, sometimes, but so I I'm kind of torn between both of them here, because it definitely shows the time period between 2013 and 2014. Because you had Sheamus and Mark Henry still there, you had Big Show and Randy Orton, and then kind of going into 2014, it's kind of like you've seen like all these newer talent and people. A huge shift from the 2013 and 2014, because Shield's still there, but they're not champions at that point. And Bryan and Kane are there too, but it's just roles are reversed in that championship match. Um, I don't think in the 2013 one there was like no Divas Championship match. I don't think. If I'm wrong, yeah, there was no women's championship match at all in the 2013 Extreme Rules show, which is actually kind of interesting. I guess they just didn't really want to give Divas a chance at that point. Um, it's a tough one to call because, like I said, both shows are good for both reasons, to each their own sort of thing. I don't know. It's like, and plus if you think about it, you have Ambrose, you have Swagger, you have Reigns and Rollins, Bryan and Kane, Orton, Cena, and Triple H. 8 of those people are in the next year's show, and Shield and Evolution are in a six-man tag, but it's the but you have Batista in the mix in that one. You have Cesaro and Jack Swagger in the triple threat elimination match. The Wyatt or no Cena going against Wyatt in the steel cage, and then Bryan and Kane, like I said. Um, it's actually kind of interesting to like have RVD in the middle of that elimination match and all stuff, which they should have just done Cesaro versus Jack Swagger, maybe in like submission match or something. Um, but what can you do? Um, I think they would. I think this is just me though, but I could have done this. I would have done Cesaro and Swagger for an elimination match in a submission match. Kind of put that Rusev and handicap match like on Raw or something to like build up Rusev. Have Barrett and Biggie in like a tables match or something. And then keep the 6-man tag, keep the steel cage match, the Divas Championship match. I would say maybe do that as like maybe like not like last man standing, but maybe do like just like you did there, like just have it as like the dead spot, like the cool down match after that big huge steel cage, and then you have the main event, which was like Extreme Rules. I would have done like Last Man Standing because it was kind of like all around the arena too. That's just me. That's what I would have done for 2014. Um, but it's a huge dip from a year because 2013 was 231,000. 2014 was 108,000, excluding the WWE Network views. So it's a huge, huge decline. Um, but if I'm going based off of like vibes and stuff alone, I would say I might just do 2013 or 2014 actually. I'm sorry, 2014. Um, it's like it's just like that's like I think that's when I guess my fandom for WWE kind of got kickstarted on that because I remember the 6-man tag, the steel cage match, and then the main event of Bryan and Kane. Um, both all three good matches in their own right. 2013, it's like there's maybe like two like maybe like I guess like three good matches on there too, so it's kind of even. Um, but the Cena and Ryback match kind of fell flat because it ended in no contest, which is like boo. And then Brock Lesnar gets his lick back from WrestleMania that year in the steel cage. Um, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with 2014. It kind of just shows like that's like when I guess like wrestling for me was kind of hot a little bit. But it doesn't get much better until 2016, going into 2017, because that's when it kind of like upstarts like the biggest like I guess boom period of like WWE at that time. Um, because it's like like you have some characters that are still kind of like transitioning into their own character. Like within 2014, you have Rollins turning on the Shield that next night after Payback and all that stuff. Roman becoming the biggest megastar that is kind of like John Cena. Dean Ambrose he's kind of going around the mid card a little bit, but then going into 2016, 2017, he starts becoming a main eventer. It's just you just never know what's gonna happen within a year's time. And then like I said, like with Rollins and Ambrose and all stuff, they have the feud of the year in 2014 and all that stuff. So you just never know what's gonna happen. Like I said, but before I ramble any more on, but yeah, that is it. I'm gonna go with Extreme Rules 2014, and that is it for this episode. This is the last episode of May. I'm going to be kind of pre-recording the June 5th episode, which will be a Blink random ranking episode, because I'm going to be in New York for a week, because it's Marissa's birthday week, and I'm going to be there for her and celebrate with her. So hopefully this episode or the next episode will come out, with grandiosity and I guess if you want to call it like, I guess like hopefully it'll like do good on her birthday. But yeah, that is it. Tonight's song of the night it is Gives You Hell by All American Rejects. But before we make it to the very end, I want to really, really, really appreciate you guys for making it to the very end of this episode. We do really appreciate it. Please make sure to follow us on all social media links in the link tree in the description below, which will take you to our Instagram, Twitter, the podcast Reddit page, my gaming YouTube channel, and yeah, I think that's it. And I will see you guys in June. Peace.